Hello again. Yeah, we're back for part two of the mental health racket. So I was just talking in part one really about how but on the surface, the attitude towards mental health does appear to have changed significantly. I don't think it's changed in a way that's positive or helpful. We've merely gone away from being cruel to people in the form of overt cruelty to being cruel to people in the sense of feeling sorry for them and kind of keeping them in a loop, and we'll just touch upon that very soon. But I wanted to talk about the economics of this because, of course, the mental health racket is a multi-billion pound industry. And I was a bit shocked when I learned this, but I didn't know this at all. But I was wondering how many people were on antidepressants in the UK. And I had a good look at it, and I expected a number either in the high hundreds of thousands or the low end of the millions, right? I expected it to be sort of maybe 1 in 30 or 40 adults. So have a guess. How many people were prescribed antidepressants in the United Kingdom? I was absolutely shocked by this. I'm just going to bring this into the chat box again. You can always do it with chat bot yourselves. I'm just going to do this. The antidepressant. It's quite astonishing. It's more than 8 million people were prescribed antidepressants in 2022-23. More than 8 million people. You're not telling me we've got that many depressed people. You're not telling me that we have that many yet. And the thing with antidepressants is they screw up your body, they screw up your mind. They are. They can do a lot of harm as well as good. And if we are going to prescribe them to people, well, we should be prescribing them to people who, I suppose people who really need them. And I don't believe for 1 second that more than 8 million people in this country need antidepressants. What are we doing? But we have an unfortunate situation where there is money in misery. There are, a lot of people and companies that are doing very well out of the misery racket. They are doing very well out of the what we'll call the depressal industrial complex. And it's a big money maker for a lot of people. It's a big money spinner, and it's worth billions a year, at least to them. And then there's this other element of the depressal industrial complex, which is the proliferation of not just counselling and therapy, which I've got very mixed feelings about, but also this very pernicious life coaching industry that has sprouted up and chews up a lot of people's money. Very often the people pushing it have no real credentials with which to push it. They shouldn't be selling their services. They haven't really got any licensed credentials backing it up in a lot of cases. A few have, but you have to be very wary of what people's motives are, because one of the great problems with the counselling, therapy, life coaching kind of that whole kind of industry of its own that's tied into this is that there's a perverse incentive in the middle of it. They kind of want to keep you almost fixed. They want to keep you still a little bit not right, because there's a vested interest in keeping you in as a repeat customer. But the thing is, if you've been going for therapy or counselling for several years, it's not working, is it? I mean, the idea of a good counsellor, a good therapist is, that let's say it worked as well as some people say it does. then you go and see them a few times, you come out fixed, and you'd never see them again, right? And you'd never go back to another one or whatever. Right? Well, actually, there's an inherently kind of bad business model there, isn't there? So actually, the vested interest in having you convinced that you need to keep going back. I mean, I do know people who do counselling for free, as it happens, and that is slightly different. I think you can, yeah, I think you've probably got a vested interest in getting in helping them. But the thing is, as well, that these industries they perpetuate this idea that yeah, a drug can fix me, or I can sit on a couch opposite somebody who will tell me something that will magically fix me, whatever's wrong. All right, and it also does this very unfortunate thing of it sort of keeps people feeble. It keeps people kind of in this state where they, if they keep being told that they're a kind of emotional wreck or they're a mess or whatever, they're going to start playing the part of a mess. I mean, one mate of mine who I was talking to about this in the week was saying, yeah, he knew this guy who, and we'll come to this in a second. He's been on the sick for years, and he starts going on now about how he he's on the verge of having a heart attack, or he's in constant pain. He's playing the part of the person who, he may well have lied to somebody in the first instance, but he's become convinced now that he is that person, or he started being that person. It's just like there's like a sort of psychosomatic element to it, and that's very worrying. I mean, the other thing being that there's so many of these mental health conditions now, and we've now got getting on to 3 million people in Britain who have decided that they, quote, cannot work. They can't work because they've got some ailment or other. And a big part of that, a big component of that, is this explosion in the number of mental health conditions that various people have got. And so that's no good. That's no good from an economic point of view, a financial point of view. We're all going to be paying to look after those people for decades, and there is unfortunately a perverse incentive to become one of them for some people. Of course, their drugs, their counselling, we're all going to be paying for that as well. And this is the thing with this industry. I mean, it is an absolutely, it's an enormous industry now. It's worth a lot of money. I mean, I'll have to look and see how much money does get spent on antidepressants, on various drugs that are taken by people, and also on the on whether it's actually licensed therapy or this these unfortunate life coaching courses that you see all over the internet. But between them, they suck up a significant chunk of change. You've got people spending quite a lot of whatever income they've got on them, and in some cases getting them subsidised by everybody else. And the thing with this industry, this depressive industrial complex, is that it doesn't generate any new wealth. It's like a parasite. It doesn't create any new wealth that will make all of us better off. It is merely kind of a particularly nasty form of rent seeking. As I've said, there's money in misery, and people have latched on to the fact that there is. And it's not a nice industry at all. And people ask me sometimes, what do you think about mental health? What are your thoughts on it? And I think when I tell them this kind of thing, it is vaguely surprising to them. And I think that's the thing, is if people are spending all their money on antidepressants or prescriptions, or they're spending all their money on, on counsellors who have them on a hamster wheel of, you're nearly fixed, you just need to keep seeing me for a bit longer, that'll be £100, please. Well, guess what? They're not spending money where they live. They're not spending money in the pubs or in the cafes or in the shops, and they're not going out. And that means that, basically the economies of where we live, they contract. We all end up poorer. So, this industry does need to be challenged and confronted, I think. So I'd be very interested in having a conversation about that. And we can go on to other things on this particular industry and its various forms another time. Okay, I think that'll be me for today. I might do another one tonight. I might not. Depends what mood I'm in. And if you've got any topic suggestions or comments about my videos generally, give us a shout. Okay, thanks for watching. Take care.